Hello, hello. I'm Sai, and don't freak out. You're still on the right channel. We have decided on Wednesdays from now on, we are going to give you a behind the scenes, in depth, just talk about things that have happened, good or bad, and give you a chance to rant about your experiences as well. Okay, guys, this is something we have decided to start doing every Wednesday. We're going to call it the Midweek Meltdown. And do we have a doozy for you? First, let me give you a little bit of background. Back in March, my cousin, his name was Jerome, he passed away of cancer. Very sad, and it hit me out of left field. I had no idea how to feel. I was very upset. Jerry was one of the ones that used to take all my other cousins to the toy store, and comic book store, and things like that. He was a great guy. Loved him to death. Anyway, we found out he passed away. My fiance and I immediately started making plans to get out to his funeral, at least to give our respects. And that is when we decided to get a airline ticket from a company called justfly.com, fly.com. We didn't know. So today I'm going to give you a little story about something that happened. It is sad. It is terrible that people actually do this, but we got scammed. So we're going to let you know what happened. So buckle up. The story gets bad. Fly.com. We didn't know. But what we soon found out is they are one of the biggest scams in the airline industry, claiming to give you discount tickets for airlines, and they are full of shit. So I made this mistake. We got the tickets. I think we spent a total of $600 and something for 2 round trip tickets to Cincinnati, Ohio. You can imagine we were already distraught. We were on an emotion roller coaster either way. We booked these tickets, paid the money, and waited for our day. In the meantime, we also went and got, a car rental and an Airbnb to make sure that everything was set for this time. Unfortunately, this is where things got bad. So I was at work when I found out the information. I ordered the tickets and everything, and I pretty much set everything up A to B. I got the airline ticket. I called Turo for a car rental that we could pick up at the airport. I called an Airbnb kind of near where the funeral was going to be. So we did all of this. We had everything in tow. We were leaving from LAX at 6:15 a.m. We had to get up at the butt crack of dawn and drive all the way to LAX because that is the cheapest flight to Cincinnati. Orange County Airport is closer. I think it's Don Wayne, but still, it wasn't as cheap as LAX. So we made the trek. Our ticket for Frontier Airlines, got to the airport, paid, parking the car, took the shuttle over to the airport. Everything was going great. Weighed our bags, stood in line at Frontier Airlines, put our bags up there, gave the ID. And the woman said, "We don't have a seat for you guys." And I said, "Are you sure? Because I did this over a week ago." She said, "Yeah, I'm looking. Let me call my supervisor, blah, 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 whatever." Then she asked to show the airline ticket. So we showed the printable tickets. They sent us from JustFly.com. And she said, "Oh, these people have been busted before under a different name. They are scam artists. They took your money." So immediately I get on the phone with JustFly.com. The person I was dealing with, his name was Jay. Just to be sure, if you catch anybody named Jay from Fly.com, they have already cheated me out of $638, I believe. So his name is Jay. And Jay goes, "Oh, no, Frontier Airlines has it wrong." So I go back to Frontier and they check and they say no. Then when I want him to get on the phone with them, I guess they lost connection. So finally, I get back on the phone and I call Jay again and I say, "I want a full refund." He said, "Okay, it'll take 14 days for a full refund." 14 days. So I've wasted my last bit of funds, this came out of left field, to get to the funeral. And now I can't go. We are looking for other options as the airport, looking for other flight deals. And of course, now they're at thousands of dollars. to get there. So I immediately call my bank, Navy Federal, and I tell them what happened and things like that. And I tell them this company scammed me. I want them to hold on my card. And they said, we'll do that and we will give you a refund while we investigate this problem. I say, okay. In the meantime, I'm to the point of tears because I can't go to my cousin's funeral. So I have to call the family and call my mother, call my sister and tell them I won't be able to go. And I tell them why. So they're very upset. We get back in the car and we drive all with them. Worst day in a long time that I've had. Emotions all over the place, extremely frustrated. I get another text and email from Jay claiming Frontier made the mistake. I talk to Frontier again. They say this company is a fraud and they give me proof that they're frauds. I send all this to the bank. Meanwhile, can't go to the funeral when I'm at home. So now let me explain to you how this all happens. I booked a flight with fly.com for 2 tickets to Cincinnati, round trip. The itinerary was terrible, but at least it would get me to where I needed to. Anyway, so I do all that. I pay for luggage. I pay for everything. I tell them this is for a funeral. There's no funeral, discount they have because they're already a discount company. That's okay, that's fine. But they knew it was for a funeral. And they held on to this information, didn't tell me anything for, I think I was leaving 9 days from the ticket purchase. So I am stuck at home, can't get to the funeral. The bank does their investigation or claims to do the investigation. I would suggest you check because Navy Federal is actually under a lawsuit right now about lying about investigation, just not paying their customer. Anyway, they say they talked to Jay and Jay told them, no, we did give them airline tickets and Frontier messed up. So now Navy Federal doesn't refund me money and still hasn't to this day. I don't know what Jay or fly.com or whatever website they're using now is doing, but there's a special place in hell for those type of. You should not prey on people. You should not scam people. With all the education and with everything they do to make sure this scam is so good, if they use that to do something good, they'd be amazing. So I'm telling you right now, and this is for every scam artist out there. You guys suck. As far as I'm concerned, you guys could eat a you know what. I'm not upset with Frontier because their hands were tied, just like our hands were. I am upset with fly.com. I am upset with Navy Federal. And partly I'm upset with myself for letting this go so long. But I had to let you guys know. Please don't use this company. It's a terrible company, especially once they know that you are in desperate need of something. Then they really turn it up. Because if I remember correctly, I had to add another $100 to that ticket to ensure that we had enough, enough money for the baggage and all this other stuff. So they got away with everything. And they took my last chance to see my cousin before he was buried. They took that away from me, something I can never get back. If you guys have had similar issues with these airline companies, please let me know. Leave it in the comments. Tell me what happened. A lot of us could probably relate. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one, but at the time it felt like my world was falling in on me. And that's a feeling I don't want to have again. So I think it's best that I put this out and tell you guys, avoid these people at all costs. And as far as I'm concerned, if I ever see Jay, look, don't let the smiles and stuff fool you. Yes, we do a travel channel and things like that, but I am extremely pissed off. So Jay, if you're listening, stay clear from me. But as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not talking about other discount companies like Expedia, Orbit, I think even Priceline or Kayak, they do a good job. Some of these companies though prey on you, and I don't think that's fair. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my fiance, and she's going to tell you how she felt, and she'll give you a little bit more of what happened.
So I know Sai has already kind of gone into this, but yeah, the whole thing with Just Fly was very disappointing, to say the least. We had somewhere to be. It wasn't like we were taking vacation, and even that would be, inconvenient and inconsiderate and just wrong. We had a funeral to go to, a family member on his side of the family. So we had gotten, it was a last minute thing. We were trying to find an inexpensive flight, which we did. And we thought, great, we can get all our stuff. We had one bag between the two of us that we would, pay for. We got everything taken care of. The kids, making sure that they had arrangements getting to and from school, other activities that they're doing. We had the dog taken care of. We truly planned all of this within a couple of days because it was a last minute thing. And we thought at least we have our reservation, we got everything else taken care of, and we just need to do things on the back end. We got all that done, which was great. Day up, we get to the airport. They're asking for other information. They're asking for credit cards. And like, what's going on? We're getting a little anxious and a little nervous. Well, long story short, we were literally scammed. We were scammed, no tickets. If we wanted to get on that flight and get to where we needed to go, we were going to have to pay out of pocket a very high cost. At that point, we were not able to do that. We had made arrangements to get there. We paid for parking, paid for, we got the shuttle over there. Everything was going smoothly and perfectly. So you can just imagine how upset and how disappointing and frustrated and, well, let's just say angry we were when we got there. This kind of situation happened. Well, we tried to dispute the charges. There were issues with the bank, which I think is going to be another story that we'll let you know about. But just fly. They're a scam. I don't know if they're named under any other kind of companies, but just be careful when you're making reservations. Also, what should have kind of tipped us off, we had gotten some information about some emails saying, oh, this has been postponed or this has been changed. Every time we called, we spoke to the same person. Now, how common is that every time you call like an 800 number or an 8 number, that you actually speak to the same person? But, we were just headstrong on trying to get the reservation, set and in place, get out there and get there on time to be with family. And these people didn't really, I'm sorry, give a shit why we were going. We were going to honor a loved one, to be with family, to remember. And nobody cared. It was all the bottom line.
It was all about money, and that was it. So angry, sad, frustrated, and there was nothing we can do.
So just be careful. We gotta be so careful. There's so many people out there that are just looking to take advantage of you. And it's so disheartening. It's really sad. And so please be careful. We're here for you and we will let you know whatever else comes our way that, we find to be wrong. So take care.
Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones.